Yeah, hey guys, welcome back. Today I've got something super cool I want to share with you. It's these new pickups that I've been designing called McPherson Echo Coils. Now, what's cool about these is that they actually amplify body resonance, just like vintage humbuckers do, but they also can be used at higher volume levels and higher gain saturation levels than those pickups. They're just a lot more stable, and that's kind of the main key element there. I suppose first I should tell you how this all came about. So about 20-ish years ago, the early 2000s, I was working in a music shop, and a Ibanez down the back of the shop fell off a rack and smashed in one of the pickups. And I remember playing that guitar. It still worked. It didn't sound particularly great, but it was just such a buzz to play. It was super interactive, and it just gave you this really great feeling while playing it, even though it was clearly broken. Like anytime you had to add any gain or any volume, the whole pickup would just go nuts, and it was completely unusable. It really tuned me into that feeling anyway. And fast forward a few years, and I'm doing a lot of repair work and a lot of setup work, and I'm working a lot of vintage instruments, and I notice I still get that same feeling, not to the same degree, but the same sort of feeling as I did from that completely smashed up Ibanez. It just drove me nuts. I was like, what is this? Why does it make me feel this way when I play it? And I had a theory that it's because vintage pickups in particular are actually amplifying body resonance, not just the strings. A few years later, I was working on a vintage Les Paul, and it was just the perfect time to test this theory, and it turns out they do. So particularly vintage pickups, humbuckers in particular, actually amplify body resonance as well as the strings. And I've got a future video coming where I do a whole bunch of tests. Earlier this year, I started working on echo coils. So the idea being that they amplify body resonance, but they suppress those problems that you can get if you decide you want to run them at higher volume, or if you want to add a decent amount of gain, because quite often with vintage pickups you can get a lot of issues there, a lot of howling and squealing and problems like that. And it was a bit of a challenge, but I'm absolutely stoked with what I have come up with, and it gives me all that same feeling that I get, but the tone that I was after was something really versatile that could be used across a broad range of styles, because that's what I play. I play a lot of different things on guitar, and I want to use gain, I want to use clean, I want to use heavier sounds, and I wanted something that could sort of handle all that. So the next thing that I think makes these really unique is the components that I've used. So almost everything in an Echo Coil is made in the USA. So I've gone for the best quality components that I could find, and it is extremely limited out there. The majority of parts used in pickup making aren't made in the USA, they're made elsewhere. One of the main parts of a pickup is obviously the magnet, and to get USA made magnets is quite tricky. So I tracked down a really small magnet manufacturer in the UK who can make pickup magnets, and they make an unoriented Alnico 5, which I wanted for this particular project. So I was really stoked to be able to get a high quality magnet to go along with everything else, to make these pickups something that I think is actually really special. The motivation for me for this project has always been just to make something that I think is really special and get it out there into the world. This is just something that is a little different. It's been built differently. Humans are just so much more perceptive than we give ourselves credit for. So when you hear this, you can hear the tones, but you can't feel what it feels like. And that's the only way you can do that, is be in the room or play a guitar that has these pickups installed. In saying that, if you're ever down around the workshop and we're open, you can always come in and just have a jam. This guitar's normally around if you just want to see what I mean. The interactive feeling that you get from playing like a guitar with vintage pickups in is super addictive, and it's something that makes you want to keep playing. It makes you almost feel like you can play better. It's that feeling that I wanted to capture with Echo Coils. They give me that feeling. They have a light sort of airiness about them that I don't often feel with a lot of pickups. The neck has got just the right amount of bite for me. So you can use it with gain. I don't want it just to be a big mud fest, or it sounds really, really sweet on a clean sound. They roll back really good. The bridge pickup has the right amount of push and the right amount of bite in the top end for me, and has the right amount of bottom end. It's kind of everything that I want in a pickup. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't, and we'll catch you on the next video.